Hey everyone, thanks for watching and stopping by to check out my channel today. Today we're going to feature Burp Suite in my top 5. This is my third video in my top 5 series, and Burp Suite is kind of one of those things that if you're doing web application penetration testing, you probably use it on a regular or daily basis, or you at least have it in your arsenal. And I'm just going to kind of show you the reasons why I like to have it in mind. So what is Burp Suite? If you're new to this industry, you've probably heard of it. You've probably heard more senior people or people with a little more experience mention it. But it basically is a tool that provides automated web app pen testing and a large number of plugins with customization opportunities. It allows you to customize those plugins and even create your own plugins. Now, it's very popular also for its manual proxy capabilities for manual mapping and testing of applications. So in other words, it has a very nice piece that allows you to do automated web app pen testing like other tools. But one thing that sets it aside is how well its proxy feature works that allows you to do some interesting things when it comes to manual testing. So the proxy can be used to essentially man in the middle your session between your browser and the web application or whatever client you're using and the web application that you're interacting with. And it allows for thorough mapping and testing of these web apps in a way that you just can't do it if you're running the automated pieces of it. Now, what can that be used for offensively or as a bad guy? You can use it to manipulate prices and discounts. You can manipulate cookies, session tokens, and all these other things that we use to control user experience when it comes to an interaction or a session with our web application. And it eventually could lead to privilege escalation with a lot of other different things going on within the app. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we utilize a proxy. And I'll actually go ahead and show you how to set it up as well. All right, once you get Burp started up, you should see a screen that looks something similar to this one. But what you want to end up doing is go to the proxy tab. And in that tab, you're going to want to make sure that under options, so again, that's proxy, and then go to options. You want to make sure that you know what you have your proxy set to. Mine is set to 127.0.0.1 port 8080. So what's going to happen here is, since we're trying to man in the middle my browser sessions, I'm going to need to make sure that my browser points to Burp Suite as a proxy. So essentially Burp is listening on this interface on this port. So now in my browser, which in this case I'm using Firefox, under the preferences, I will need to go into the network settings, and you can do this in Chrome or Edge, whatever you're using, set a proxy, and I just need to make sure that this matches 127.0.0.1, 8080 is the port, and then if I go look back in Burp, that's what it's listening on, or it's got the proxy running on. So now that I've got this set, that means I'm properly in between, and now we can turn intercept on or off. Now let me show you the differences in that. With intercept off, here's what happens when I browse somewhere. All right, let's just go to Yahoo. Okay, I just go straight there. I browse straight in. However, if I've got the proxy on, so let's go and turn intercept on, right? I click that, now it's on. But when I go to other places, let's just go to caterpillar.com. So when I go to cat.com, you'll see here that we're able to get there for the time being. And that's because we have not set the proxy. All right, so let's go make sure we got that set right. So what we'll need to do is make sure that in Firefox or in whatever browser you got, you turn the proxy to on. So I've got it set to manual configuration. I've got it turned on. I'm going to OK that. Now let's try to go back to Yahoo and watch what happens. So when we try to go back to Yahoo, what you notice is you just see the little activity button up there, but you don't see Yahoo loading. That's because we've got the intercept on. So Burp is actually capturing that request, and we can go in, right, and we can look at the request to see what it looks like. This is just a standard GET request. There's our GET request to Yahoo. We can see any cookies that are being passed in that GET request. If we wanted, we could try to manipulate those cookies to see if we could get anything interesting to happen. But we have the ability here to slowly forward that request and even the responses that comes back from Yahoo, because if you notice now, Yahoo's kind of loading, but we have to keep forwarding all the way through that request. And all this red stuff, these are things that Burp has identified that you are able to easily modify. Now you can modify other things. For example, I can go in and manipulate the user agent field to try to get it to give me something interesting there. But the point of this is you can now pause and look at each individual request that goes on between you and that browser, or you and that web application. All right. So let's go ahead and forward our way through. Let's actually turn the intercept off on Yahoo. And I'm going to visit a site now that we are going to call our vulnerable web app site, which is going to be this one. And I'm going to go ahead and log into it. All right. So I log in. And since I don't have the intercept on, it allows me to log right in. And I'm going to go to the cross-site scripting section of it. And I want to show you something here. Now, I'm going to set the security on this to high, and this will basically control. This would be what would happen if a security administrator or a web app administrator set the security on a web app. One of the common things is what we call client-side controls, and I'm going to show you how to bypass that using Burp. So if I tried to do a cross-site scripting attack here, for example, if I did hello and then try to do something like this, let's just put in here yahoo.com or something, right? So if I tried to do that, within the script here, within the application, and I sign the guest book, what's going to happen is you're going to see that it does something called HTML encoding, and the harmful script tags that I put up there, you can see it's actually taking those out now, right? So that's part of the input sanitization or the encoding that prevents me from doing a cross-site scripting attack here. So let's go and turn Burp's intercept on, and I'll show you a quick way to bypass that client-side control. So I'm going to do Keytron 2, and I'm going to basically try the same thing again. All right, and I'm just going to do Yahoo again. All right, so I'm going to hit sign, but this time you remember we got Burp's intercept running, so I'll need to go over and look at the request and say forward. And notice in the request, one of the cookies here says security equals high. In that cookie, I'm going to modify that and just change it to low and forward that request on. And then, as this goes on, you might see that setting come back again. And if you do, we'll just need to modify it again. So I'm slowly forwarding each request here. All right, we're continuing on. And we're just looking to see if that security equals high cookie comes across again. And if it does, we'll just modify it again. So I'm just slowly clicking through each part of the interaction between myself and this web application. So now it's all done. If we go back and look at what happened this time, notice we were absolutely able to actually post the IMG source tag here, and we can do the cross-site scripting attack. That's because when the owner of this website set up their client-side security controls, they're pushing those controls down through a cookie or through a session token that we're able to manipulate in the form of a cookie. So that's one of the major uses of Burp Suite's proxy. Just to give you some ideas, I almost did a live attack with this against some sites to show you some things you can manipulate. Just imagine modifying prices or modifying not so much the prices, but the discount coupon codes that you put in to discount your price on an item. What if there was a way to modify what the application spits you back out? Think about things such as going for insurance quotes and stuff like that, and more so even bank transactions. So this is something that you think about. This is a way that you can play around with this application. Maybe even use it to test your own web apps that you're using to see what it is you're actually able to do. So now you know exactly why those of us that do manual web app pen testing like to use Burp, because it allows us to do things like that and get attacks across that maybe they've tried to prevent with some other implementation. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you in the next of my top 5.